What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's up, friends and family in the building? I appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's Tuesday. I ain't had no tacos in a while. Taco Tuesday. It is Tuesday in the building. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling? It was an eventful weekend. Uneventful for me because I was just chilling with friends and family, but eventful for the people over in Chicago. So I am always delighted when I get to report on Chicago. It was a span there was a span where I wasn't really reporting on Chicago like that. Like I had took some time off to focus on everything else that was happening. We had the election and all of that. But we in full swing. We in full Chicago swing because the YNs is doing what the YNs do. The ladies is out in the streets. The people is protesting. I even seen Jamal Bryant pull up to Chicago. Somebody just sent me an email saying that Brandon Johnson was on Joy Reid's show. I said, what is he doing on that trash show? Now, think about this for a second. Why would the mayor of Chicago go on a podcast for Joy Reid that has 200 and something thousand subscribers instead of coming over to the Anton Daniels channel that's on his way to 1 million? Why would he do that? Why would he do? I've invited Brandon Johnson to come on the platform. I heard his people don't said that he don't necessarily care for me. Now the last mayor. What's up, Aaliyah? What's up, Aaliyah? Let me send Aaliyah. I'll send Aaliyah a message later on today. I gotta make sure we gotta move a little differently. Aaliyah is not really in the position. I'm gonna just keep that to myself. Um, The last mayor that I invited on the platform, we haven't heard from them in a while. Their name was I think it was Tiffany Henyard. I've almost forgot her name. Almost forgot her name. It was Tiff Tiff. Shout out to the last mayor that I invited on the platform. And she was like, nah, I'm not interested in talking to you. Him downstairs. Him downstairs. Did y'all enjoy the show last night? I enjoyed the show last night. It was a great show. Him downstairs. Ham downstairs. You know, Aaliyah, if y'all want to catch Aaliyah, y'all can watch the Q show from last night. You know, Aaliyah, I thought about it just now. Just now, I just thought about it. You know what, Aaliyah? I've never, ever had a New York girl come to the studio. I just thought about that. I've never had a New York girl. Now, you know, New York girls, they're a little rough and tough with their Afro puffs. They be acting all extra and stuff like that. I have never had a New Yorker chick come to the studio. And so now I'm like, what is going on? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. She got that. She a whole New Yorker. She a I love this show. I love content creating. I love this show. I word us New York guns is fun, girls is fun for. I wouldn't know. Keisha, how would I know? How would I know what y'all like? How would I know? Apparently, y'all don't do plane rides. Chicago dedicated to the propaganda Olympics for that 800 million in federal funds. I'm a whole New Yorker straight from Brooklyn. I wouldn't know. K. Cooper, I wouldn't know because I don't know. Apparently, New Yorkers don't fly. Apparently, New York boyfriends or fiancés or whatever, they keep their girl under lock and key. They don't know. We don't fly. We only go to other boroughs. That's what they said. We only go to other boroughs. We got New York in the building. They everywhere. What up, Kiwi B in the building? What up, Nell G? What up, everybody? Sabrina, Keisha, you from Brooklyn too? Oh my God. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. New York meetup coming up soon. New York meetup coming up soon. What's happening, y'all? How y'all feeling in the building? All right. See, that's what I'm saying. Key, she says, stick to us Michigan girls. We understand you. What's up, Key? I'm trading out Aaliyah. I'm going with a Key now. Cause the girls in Michigan, they understand you different. They move a little bit. Hey Anton. Hey Anton. I stopped at the store. We over 1,000 people. We can go ahead and get started with the show now. I stopped at the store the other day. And I was on my way to the penthouse or whatever, right? Kid, nah, Leah, don't do it now. I don't want to hear it now. I stopped at the store the other day, and I was on my way to the penthouse or whatever, and so I got out the car and I went into the store and I went into the little corner store or whatever, and so I speak to everybody and I say what up. I know the corner store owners and all of that. I'm a regular person. Right? So I stop in the store, and then the girl, she says, I knew it was you. I had to come over and come and see you. I said, what's up, baby girl? What's happening? She said, oh my God, I can't believe it's you. I be seeing you online. I said, I'm gonna run into you one day. I'm gonna run into you one day. I said, what you think about me now that you didn't see me? And this is the honest to God truth. I said, what you think about me now that you didn't see me? She said, you the real king of the city. I said, y'all know how to talk to us. Man, the Michigan girls, they know how to talk to you. She said, you the king. She said, you the king. You the real king of the city. She kept saying it. I said, you know what? You about to get an invite to the studio. You keep talking to me like that, you're going to get an invite. She said, I love you. I said, I love you more. I love you more. I like that. I like that. The ladies, they treat you good here. That's facts, Molly. You think so too, Molly? You think so too, Molly? These Michigan girls, they different. They different. They different. See, Aaliyah, you see what Aaliyah, she don't get it yet. Them New York girls, New York girls, they always talk like this. You know what I'm saying? They different. They different here in Michigan. They different here in Michigan. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, listen, bro, these Detroit girls, these Michigan girls, they different. They love you. They adore you. They not trying to be difficult. They ain't trying to make you chase, none of that stuff. They just make it known exactly what it is that they trying to have a conversation about. What's up, Tiff? How you feel? What's up, ladies? What's up, ladies? What's up, everybody? All right, y'all. Y'all ready to get started with the show? We got a lot to talk about today. So, of course, we gonna backload the show. All right, we're gonna backload the show. So we're gonna talk about Chicago, obviously. Did you know that Trump called Chicago? Oh my God, look at my girl MAGA Tamara. Trump called Chicago quite possibly the most dangerous city in the world. I couldn't believe it. I said, God. Trump called Chicago. I didn't say it. Trump said it. He said Chicago is the most dangerous city, not only in the United States of America, might be one of the most dangerous cities in the world. I said, what? I said, what? What up, Dewan Nelson? What up, ladies? Whatever. What up, everybody in the chat? What up to all of the people? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all ready to get the week started? Some of y'all was sleeping on Monday, and I did a show, and we had it popping up in here. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. The first thing that I want to do is I want to acknowledge the bag chasers. What up to all of my chasers? Did you know that the best time to join the tape chasers in the beginning of the month? Yes, it is. The best time to join the chasers is the beginning of the month. So if you want to rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, we have Block Club coming up. I was doing some reconnaissance, making sure that I recorded some stuff and took some real photos and pictures and videos so that I can present to you guys what my latest findings are and what I'm doing and giving y'all an update on the properties and everything like that. So can't wait to show y'all what's happening on that front. Also showing y'all a lot of the new properties. And so we got Block Club coming up this week. If you want to rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I will also read a couple of super chats. Says, just supporting. Shout out to, they call me Mr. Bibbs, holding me down, trying to be one of the most consistent, showing love to my favorite. Let's see, V Nicole, they said nurses love AD. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling the love. I am. I'm feeling the love. I'm not in a bad space. I'm in a good space. I think I might be feeling one of the most positive spaces that I ever have in my entire life. I felt so confident and so good. I talked to my dealer today, not drug dealer, car dealer. We do different dealers over here. I said, you know what? I'm thinking a new car. He said, what you thinking? I said, I don't know. You tell me what I should have. He said, what about that Urus? He said, you never really bought the Urus. I said, you know what? That look good on me. Black with the black and blue interior, baby blue interior, similar to the other Lamb I said, yeah, let's do that one. So we might do that at the end of the month. I told him I make the numbers make sense for me and then we'll figure it out. I love you too, V Nicole. I love you too, V Nicole. Sarge says, morning AD, let's go get it. Keep inspired. Shout out to Sarge. I appreciate you, Sarge. P. Shank is always holding me down, says, good morning, Anton. When you said if one person sneezed, the entire crowd would be sick, they were old people in that crowd. I'm 61 and I don't look old like them. You sure don't. You sure don't. You got God on your side. You know what I'm saying? That good skin. What up, the big homie? Says, got into a big argument with a guy who said, you fake. Your money comes from your dad. Instead of me knocking him out, I'm going to get to the bag. AD, why don't they like you? I don't understand. I almost went to jail about you. Big homie, don't go to jail for me. Don't go to jail for me. Don't do that. Big homie asks a question. I think it's a good question. He said, AD, why don't guys like you? It's similar to what I said last night. Big homie is feminine energy. Now, here's the thing, big homie. Here's the thing. Because we all know that story is fake. And so it's no point in me going over it for the 111th time. But I will say this, big homie. If I had got it from drugs, let's say I was a former drug dealer or I was a former credit card scammer or something like that, my money, right? Let's say I didn't get it out the mud. I never worked for corporate America. I never did any of that stuff, right? Which obviously I did. Let's say I was never a software engineer. I didn't work my way up. I never went broke. None of that stuff, right? Right. If I got it from illegal means, the community would love me. They would embrace me. If I had went wrong and then I made sure that I finessed the money and I turned it into right, the people would love me. They would love me. Let's say hypothetically for the sake of conversation, because I think that a lot of guys have now turned into their feminine mothers. I think it's a feminine mother thing. Think about it. Because look, let's say hypothetically my dad somehow skipped over my mom and left me the money instead of all three of my other brothers, two of them which is older than me, and then again he skipped over my mother, which he was still married. And he gave me this big inheritance and he didn't give anybody else in the family, which my dad didn't have any money. Let's say hypothetically that I was a Nepo baby or a trust fund baby or something like that. Is that such a bad thing? Is that such a bad, is it a bad thing? I plan on doing it for my daughter. Is it a bad thing? Why are you a fraud because you got money and you didn't do anything illegally to get it? Is that a bad thing? Why is that such a bad thing? Y'all don't want nobody else to have money except for the white people? Is that what it is? White people hook, crook, steal, kill. Asian people hook, crook, steal, kill. They will cut off their own mother's leg in order to get. They'll sell their soul to the devil in order to get it. Y'all don't want nobody else to have no money except for y'all. Is it a shortage of money out here or something? Why we can't? I ain't even got that much money compared to what some of these other people got. Man, listen, it's people walking around with billions of dollars in assets. They are changing the landscape. They terraforming the earth. They buying farms. They seed farming, seed harvesting. They changing the weather. They stealing oil and doing all of this. I ain't even got no money compared to these type of people. It's 1,700 new millionaires made in the United States of America every single day. I'm one person. What is the problem? Listen, I'm not even balling. I'm just showing you what it's like to come from the hood and then make the transition, never to ever get involved in something that would get me locked up, making sure that I keep God at the front of my life, married for 21 years and running up a check while at the same time taking over the internet. I'm not really sure where the hate come from. I I ain't even got no money like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm little man, little millionaire over here. I don't even know. I gave away a whole car yesterday. Gave away a whole car yesterday. My big brother, my oldest brother came over my house yesterday, honestly, because we was doing the Labor Day thing, and I'm going to jump into the show. This is the honest to God truth. My oldest brother came over to the crib yesterday. He said, man, I love your 96 Impala. Man, you don't even drive it. Because I'm wondering why they didn't get the money, but I got the money. He said, you don't even drive it, man. You don't even drive it. He said, man, you should just give it to me. Give it to me. I said, all right, bro, you want it? You can have it. I don't even know if he got this number. He got the bat phone number.
Your call has been forwarded to.
I don't think they got this number. He might be at work working. He came over my house. He kept begging. Man, I love this car. You ain't even drove it. You only drove it 4 times since you bought it. I said, okay, stop begging. You can have it. He's like, for real? You gonna give me the car? I was like, yeah, you can have it. Here's the papers. Have at it. Gave him the car. What up, Dre?
What up?
You at work?
I'm at the car wash.
What do you mean you at the car? What car?
You know what car?
This nigga already went to the car wash.
Sure, I'm about to go to AutoZone and get a new antenna and everything.
Why you ain't at work?
Man, guys, I got a new car.
You know what Chastity said to me yesterday?
What?
She said, thank God you gave him that car because now he gonna be happy for the next 2 months.
Man, dude, I'm telling you, God bless you because you made my whole year.
Well, you deserve it. You such a good guy, man.
Man, I'm telling you, I could barely sleep thinking about the stuff I need and have to do to get this thing, to get my life situated around this car.
Well, you deserve it. You always wanted that car.
I sure did, and I really do. This is such an appreciation.
Well, God bless you. Let me know if you need anything, bro.
Hey, God bless you, and thank you.
All right, bro.
I do. I really appreciate you, bro.
Anytime, man.
I think you're just making up for all the times you stole all my Coogee sweaters and wore them to school.
Yeah, I mean, you always been probably the best brother of all of us, so you deserve everything, all the good things.
I'm just being me, and you being you, and we are who we are. But I appreciate all my brothers, and I love you. I mean, I'm family, so
yeah,
I'll do anything for y'all.
I know you would. Well, let me know if you need anything.
All right, thank you.
All right, bro.
All right.
I don't don't know why they hate me. I don't know why the people, man, listen, bro, let me tell you something. I will tell you this, and the people in the Patreon know I've invested in people's businesses. I've given away millions of dollars. I go to the streets every week and I give out like $5,000 in cash to homeless people. I give away everything that I have, man. Every single month I go broke. This is the honest to God truth. Every month I go broke. Every month I go broke. I give away everything that I have. I look out for everybody else. I make sure everybody paid. I give people bonuses. I gave away 2 cars last month. People don't even know that. I gave away 2 cars last month. There was a woman that said that she needed a car. People don't even know this. A woman asked me if she said she needed a car. She said she didn't know what she was going to do. I went to the dealership, the GM dealership, and I bought her a brand new car cash. Most people don't even know that, because if I start to say the stuff that I do in real life, people will be like, oh, you just bragging too much, or oh, you need to be quiet. It's nothing that you can do, bro. I bought a single mother a brand new car last month at the dealership, and most people have no clue. Never mentioned it. Don't really even say anything about it. People have no. I gave away 2 whole cars last month. In the month of August, I allocate a portion of my budget every single month. I say, all right, Anton, this is what you got to do. You got at least $100,000 that you got to give out a month. And so you got to find people that's my goal every month. I got to find people. I go to the grocery store. I ghost pay for people's groceries. I give out money to the community. I'm in the city of Detroit trying to change people's lives, trying to help them. I look out for my family. I look out for my mother-in-law. I take care of everybody. I take care of my whole family, bro. Why would people want to see me lose? Why y'all want to see me lose? Honestly, bro, I give away everything. My daughter yesterday, and I know that I'm talking a little bit, but this is my show, and so I can do what I want to do because I ain't got to go to work in the morning. My daughter yesterday, she said, Dad, why do you give away so much money? Why do you give away so many cars? Why do you do this? She said, Dad, why do you do this? I said, I don't know, Leslie. It's just what God tell me to do. When I pray to God and I ask, is this the person that I'm supposed to bless? And he say, yes, I do it. She says, I hate that. I said, why? She said, because I'm just like that. She said, I do the same thing. My daughter give away all her clothes. She'll shop and spend $4,000 on clothes and give them all away to her friends. Why y'all want to see me lose? I look out for I invest in people's businesses. I look out for people. Why they want me to lose, man? I literally give away at least $1.2 million every single year. Every year I give away $1.2 million. That's a fact. What do y'all want from me? What else you want me to do for the community, man? Anyways, I'm blessed. I can't take none of this with me. I'm going to do the thing that's meaningful as far as making sure that I invest in the future and take care of my portfolio. And then the other half of it, I'm going to give it away to the people. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm a follow God. I don't worry about what everybody else is talking about. I'm not concerned about what everybody else is talking about. When I see good people, I'm going to make sure I invest in them. And so while your leaders is over here begging for the community and telling you to hit the Cash App and telling you what they're going to do for you, we silently change lives every single day. Silently, we changing lives every single day. We don't wait for politicians. We not asking for nobody to do nothing. We going to work our ass off, and then we going to make sure that we take care of the people. We going to feed them. We going to clothe them. We going to make sure that they have adequate transportation. We're going to take care of the ones that's been dedicating their lives to us. We're going to show appreciation. We're going to love God, and we're going to continue to do what we do. And then hopefully, at the end of our journey, God say, well done, my good and faithful servant. And that's the end of it. It's not about the money. I don't care about money. I care about going to get the bag so that we can change people's lives. That's what it's about. That's what being a bag chaser is. It's adding value to other people's lives. That's what it is. It's changing people's lives. That's what being a chaser is. putting people on, giving people an opportunity, and changing lives. If you want to rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right. All right, y'all, let's get to it. Let me read some of the super chats and then we're going to rock out. Let me start at the top. Shout out to Big Homie, bro. You ain't got to go to jail for me. We going to change it. We going to change the world, bro. We going to change the world. Shout out to Miss 411 says, I hope everyone is having a fast start day. Facts. Shout out to you. What up, Billy Ray Valentine says, I'm an NY girl, AD. Be easy. Need that meetup and that hug. I'm coming through. Meetup information is going to be announced soon. I love you, Billy Ray. Mr. Trey Johnson says, what's the next video on the Patreon about? Can you talk about money management? All right, we'll do money management after Block Club. How about that? Robert Rose says, did you hear about how A-Rod put together a $1 billion investment into Sosua to turn it into a family-friendly destination? So for the last 3 months, guest houses, clubs have been getting raided. Sosua is dead. Good. No more sexing. In Sosua. And we canceling Spirit flights over there too. Samuel Hartfield says, good morning, my Detroit brethren. What's up, Detroit? What up, though? Nichelle says, just saying thank you for all of the game. #bag chasers. Absolutely, Nichelle. I love you. Event Horizon says, yeah, that Iris is sweet. I bought the closest thing I could afford, the Buick Invista ST. Hey, congratulations. All cars is good cars that you can afford. Carrington Love Jr. says, what up, Anton and the Millionaire Morning Show? How my diesel mechanics, I successfully changed the trailer wheel yesterday. Alone, drum brakes, and all of the hub components. This will save me thousands per year. Shout out to Carrington Love Jr. David says they hate because they are bitter and butthurt and thrive on negativity, ignorant as all get out, and can't even attract a mate. I don't know what's wrong with them. Carrington Love Jr. says, I go broke every month too. I just told my cousin this morning I need 2 weeks of helping no one. It all comes back to us, bro. What's up to my girl, Molly? What up, Molly? I love my Molly in real life. People hate you because they can't be you. Yes, they can. They can be me. We all can be good, right? Anton, big bro, looking good. Do you have any advice on how to make connections? I have none and know nobody. You just got to go outside. Ain't no advice for that. You got to go outside. You got to meet people. You got to interact. You got to add value into people's lives, and people will remember your name and they will look out for you every single day. You got to go outside. Anton says, shh, hush up. Shout out to Me University. Tiff's Take says, when money runs out, faith will keep on spending. Trust God. God didn't have my back my whole life. High Tolerance says, salute AD and the Bag Chasers. That's that Draymond Green lookalike, Tim Black, is one of your admirers that started the African talk. Who is Tim Black? He loves you without telling you he loves you. I don't even know who Tim Black is, honestly. Who is Tim Black? Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the show. What up, Megan? I appreciate y'all. Shout out to the ladies. Shout out to the fellas. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. So the first things first that we got on the agendas is Ding Dong Ditch. Now, what did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all was going to happen? I warned you. I said it. I warned you. I told you that this was going to happen. I predicted it. I almost want to go and pull up my old video that I said something about it. I said it. And I told you that it was going to happen. I said pretty soon somebody going to get somebody going to die. Pretty soon somebody is going to catch an L. I said it. And guess what? Now they are arresting a homeowner because an 11-year-old boy was killed after playing Ding Dong Ditch in East Houston. I said that this was going to happen.
with an 11-year-old boy who has died after being shot while ding-dong ditching a neighbor's home in Houston's east side. The shooting happened near the intersection of Mimboro and Fidelity Streets just before 11 last night. The victim found about a block away. Police have since questioned a person in connection with that shooting, but no arrests have been made. KPRC2's Jaewon Jung has been out at the scene all day. She joins us now live with the latest. Jaewon.
Bill, good evening to you. Nearly 24 hours since the shooting took place, investigators are still on scene collecting evidence. This was a tragic situation of a doorbell prank gone wrong. Police telling us this was an isolated incident, but they now have a warning to parents.
It's just so heartbreaking and sad.
George Skinner lives just 2 houses down the street, where Houston police say a middle-aged man opened fire on a group of kids ding-dong ditching late Saturday night. An 11-year-old boy was shot in the back and died Sunday afternoon.
And there's no way you can mistaken that kid for somebody grown, and that's what hurts so bad.
This isn't the first time a ding-dong ditch prank has turned violent. Last month, a similar case happened in Fort Worth and in Frisco, where police there say 3 teenage boys nearly lost their lives.
They may seem like harmless pranks, but they can be very dangerous indeed.
I spoke with Sergeant Betsy Smith. She's a retired law enforcement officer who is now the spokesperson for the National Police Association.
We have had recent trends like this ding-dong ditch, which has been happening for 50, 60 years. There's also been various TikTok challenges.
TikTok challenges like the door kick challenge caught by a Katy homeowner last month. While it's unclear if social media had anything to do with this case, Houston police has a message to parents.
We've heard about pranks like this before.
Yes. I want to start out by saying Houston's a safe community, and it's sad that we're here today dealing with it now. But to answer your question, as a parent, keep a close eye on your kids.
A sad ending to a prank indeed. Police don't believe this was a case of self-defense, and a witness reported that a handgun was used in this shooting. Now, a few hours ago, I did also see investigators recovering several firearms from this house.
Listen. This is not as innocent as y'all think that it is. When the culture changes, people make adjustments. And so the thing that I told people is you're going to have to make sure that you look after your kids, because it is your responsibility to keep your kids safe. If your kids are running through the neighborhood late at night on a Saturday night, kicking people's doors, I told you that this was going to happen. And if they keep following these TikTok pranks, they're going to end up on the milk box. People are not messing around, because in these pranks, people been kicking people's doors down. They kick the doors super hard and then they run. See, ding dong ditch used to be different back in our day. Ding dong ditch, first of all, wasn't played late at night, because you can't be walking up to nobody's door late at night. That just never flew. All right. The second thing is, it would either ring the doorbell or you would knock on the door and run. And usually when you played the prank, it was in the same block that you was from, so everybody knew in the neighborhood. They running around terrorizing neighborhoods. They kicking in doors. They not just ringing the doorbell and running. They not in the hotel ringing the doorbell and running. They not doing that no more. They kicking whole doors down, and people are aware. So when somebody is doing something that they not supposed to do, bro, I'm not telling you that it's right, but what is an 11-year-old doing out around 12 o'clock at night on a Saturday night? What is y'all talking about? 11? My daughter can't be out at 11 o'clock, and she a senior in high school with a driver's license in a car or a truck. An 11-year-old out almost at 12 o'clock at night. Bro, I'm not even out at 12 o'clock at night. Very rarely do you ever see me out past 12 o'clock. That's one of the reasons why I love live streaming, is because it keeps me in the house and I be chilling with my friends on the internet, talking crap about stuff that's on the internet. What is your kid at 11 years old doing out at 12 o'clock at night? I would love to hear some of these parents give an explanation as to why their kid is out at almost 12 o'clock at night. Because it's easy to say, oh man, he shouldn't have just been shooting. When you getting your door kicked in at 12 o'clock at night and everybody that's in your house is in the house, what do you think is going to happen?
New details about a child's game of ding-dong ditch ending in tragedy. Houston police say an 11-year-old boy was shot and killed Saturday night while running from a home on Mimbro Street in East Houston.
He died Sunday afternoon, and the man who fired the shots has not been arrested. Orko Manna has the latest on the investigation, what neighbors are saying.
Homicide detectives tell me the 11-year-old boy shot and killed after doing a doorbell prank at this home was visiting.
I like to interact with the chat. I'm going to go ahead and get some visibility to people that got a profile picture. 4/5, who is a regular hater. I'm not even going to say hater. He always says the exact opposite of whatever it is that I say. If I say, hey, be a nice person, he said, what are you going to talk about? I was always mean. He says, I stay outside late night at 11 years old. What the F are you talking about? That's because you ghetto and you a hood. You ghetto. You're ghetto. Yeah, we're taming our rhetoric because I want to make sure that the churches and the daycares is all cool. People that got me up on a lunch break screen, y'all got me. That's because you a hood booger. Because your parents didn't like you. Your parents didn't like you. They didn't see you as a person that they needed to protect from the world, and so they let you be out in the streets being raggedy. That's why you throwing up gang signs on your profile picture as an adult. That's why you a 40-plus-year-old man putting up hand signals on your profile picture. Your parents didn't like you. That's why. That's why you were 11 years old, because the rest of us, we couldn't just do whatever we wanted to do. We had to sneak out and do it. We would get in trouble. We would get a whooping if we got caught doing stuff. You a hood booger. That's it. You ghetto. Ghetto. Never be allowed in certain spaces. You can never join a country club. You're never allowed to be in the gated communities. They're going to call the police when they see you. And the chances are, your rims is too big for your car and it's rubbing the wheel wells. That's why. So now you got an explanation. I'll continue to interact with the chat because the chat is my co-host for the show.
Family for a birthday party about a block away. Tonight, neighbors call this a tragedy, but also a wake-up call. People are heard yelling in this surveillance footage from near Racine and Fidelity Streets in East Houston just before 11 p.m. Saturday. About 25 minutes later, video shows a Houston police car driving by. Shortly before, a block away, investigators say a group of kids ding-dong ditched this home on Mimbro Street, a prank where they rang the doorbell and ran off. The suspect, described as a middle-aged man, allegedly came outside, chased the kids, and shot the
4/5, as expected, responded, and he says, you want to be white so bad. When did your parents caring about you have to become a white thing? Is that a white thing? You see what hood boogers talk like? They think that you speaking proper English, because I never mentioned race, I never mentioned none of that, right? They think that because your parents care about you, that you're white, that you want to be white. You see how black people are obsessed with white people? You see how we pedestalize white people and we believe that just because your parents cared about you, that means that you want to be white so bad? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Now you see why it's so difficult to deal with people from the hood, because you want to be white so bad. And then they still be talking. You want to be white so bad, it's sad. So tell me what being black means. Does it mean having arrested development and not being able to actually be an adult? See, what y'all got to understand, and this is the reasons, this is the type of person that my dog was arguing with about me. You know what I'm saying? My dog, Big Homie. Big Homie, you were arguing with a person like this. Y'all got to understand, it's some people that just got to be left behind, bro. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. Why would I try to prove myself to a 45-year-old man that still stuck in his teens? This guy, I guarantee you, he thinks that his best years was in his teens. And these are the type, that's the black version of Al Bundy. Their best years are behind them. That's why they talk the way that they talk. Boy, when I was 11, boy, when I was 12, boy, they don't have nothing else to look forward to. They don't have nothing else to look forward to. They never grew out of their childhood years. And so as a result, this is the way that they are. We all did stuff when we was younger, but we don't champion it. We don't think that it's cool. Why is somebody still telling me that he was out in the streets at 11 years old to where his parents didn't care for him? Is that cool to you? He's the black bro. We got so many Al Bundys out here in the streets. Boy, you know what I was like in high school? Hey, you 40. That was 22 years ago. What are you talking about? You stopped growing in high school? Yep. Man, in high school, we used to do that. Man, but you broke right now, though. And you still throwing up gang signs. You didn't grow up out of gang signs? You didn't grow out of gang signs? You still throwing up? You didn't know where? Got my hat to the back. I'm cool. You want to be white because you know how to speak properly and you know how to help your daughter with her homework. Y'all got to start shaming these ignorant dummies. Call them. You got to say just that. You're a dummy. You're stupid. You're a dummy. Put down your Obama phone. Stop talking about what it means to be white. I don't know anybody that wants to be white. We all in this together trying to figure it out.
"11-year-old boy in the back. He died in the hospital Sunday afternoon.
My heart and my prayers go out to the family.
This neighbor, who didn't want to show his face, says he lives near the boy's family and that they hold gatherings with kids often, but no one's ever bothered him. Ding-dong ditching, is this something that you've noticed happening in this neighborhood?
Kids are just being kids. I feel like we've all played these, ding-dong ditch.
So they knew that they were doing something, wrong.
But this neighbor says she warned the same kids earlier in the day Saturday.
As this happened on my street about 4 p.m., my neighbor's door got a knock, and then I caught them before they could knock on my door.
Her thoughts on the shooter's actions?
So the community warned them. She told them. She said, listen, stop. Stop. Don't do it. Chill out. Relax. Y'all got to stop doing this. One of y'all going to get hurt. She said that she stopped them and she tried to warn them and they still was out here in the streets.
Maybe they thought they were, under duress.
Texas law follows the Castle Doctrine, which allows homeowners to stand their ground against threats using deadly force. But KHOU 11 legal analyst Carmen Rowe tells me, quote, "From what we know, it is difficult to imagine a homeowner reasonably believing children playing a centuries-old prank posed a legitimate threat."
I kind of hold both of them accountable.
This neighbor saying the suspect and the boy's parents should have known better.
It's an innocent life taken that he could have avoided. The parents could avoid, but you got to teach them and let them know what's right and what's wrong. And it's wrong to knock on somebody's door playing a prank.
Houston police say they're interviewing several witnesses and they're still looking for more surveillance footage from this neighborhood. Reporting from East Houston, Orca Manna, KHOU.
It's unfortunate because now we got an 11-year-old dead, but I mean, what do? Parents got to be responsible for their children. The other adults in the neighborhood warned them. I don't really know how to feel about that. I just know one thing. You better be careful because everybody not playing the same game that you're playing. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with turn on your notifications. Let me read a few of the super chats and we're going to continue on with the show. Deacon Weasel says, or they mad because you support, because they mad because you support your channel. They support my channel too. They subscribed. There is a lot of hate coming from black men. Oh, it's another black man that's in there right now. Remember when I told y'all that every day we're going to keep the streak going because my expectation is to always run into people or to interact with people that hate on a regular basis. Well, we got one. We definitely got one. Let me see. Let me see. He's typed. I'm gonna tell y'all how many different types how many times he's typed in the chat so far. It says, well, I'll just show y'all. First, he wants attention, so he's typing in all caps. His name is Oakland Tank. It says, "What up, blood? You don't say New York 304s, a whole New Yorker, AD want an East Oakland girl. He lean. He don't know how to say lion. All right. Old Milk Dud lying again. They sound slow. Tell Trump to come to Oakland. Now AD got security. You are AD big boy, big dough boy from D-Town. AD sold more Coke than Coca-Cola. For you, yes, it's terrible. That $100K a year NBA. Black Impala. No receipts today. No receipts AD. Work is wild. He been plotting. His Impala. 80 think he Shaq. Big dog, chill out. It's your head, bro. They don't like the Chrome Dome. He got her a mini used. AD loves me to ask him. That's my boy. Cocks are coming out. Passed away from Ding Dong. These are all, listen, heavy in the chat. Heavy in the chat. Heavy in the chat. Out there tricking after dark, huh, AD? Hitting the back is crazy. Salute to 4/5. Salute 4/5. 4/5 mama ain't love him, huh, AD? AD the darkest white man I ever seen. 45. He out here. He just out here. He out here, bro. He just out here. He out here. He is heavy in the chat. I don't know what's wrong with him. It's so many men, bro. It's so many men that are gay. Honest to God. And honestly, it's a little scary, to be honest with y'all, bro. It's a little scary. It's a little scary to see some of these people. No, I'm not gonna block him. I mean, it just is what it is. He adds to the show as far as his dumminess or whatever. But I'm telling you, bro, some of these people, they scary, bro. They scary, bro. Excalibur says, I don't get it. Here, let me answer Excalibur. Excalibur says, I don't get it. If you like to let the check rock out and say you don't care, why acknowledge it? I don't care. That's why I'm not blocking him. But I also say that the chat is my co-host for the day. So part of the show is the fact that I like to interact with the chat from the beginning all the way to the end, to the acknowledgement of the people, all the way to reading super chats. I like to interact with the chat. I didn't block him. He's still able to rock. I'm not limiting him. But why not acknowledge the people that's on this? Why not acknowledge the people that subscribe to the show? What's wrong with that? You don't think that I should acknowledge the people that rock out with the show? You think I should just ignore people? I'm not bothered by it. I just like to show people exactly what they're dealing with in their cultural norms. The guys that's on these dating apps that y'all got to deal with on a regular basis, this is them. What's wrong with acknowledging the chat? Y'all don't want me to acknowledge y'all no more? Anyways, let me read some more of these super chats and then we're going to get over with the show. Carrington Love Jr. says, that guy I used to play doorbell ditch on as a kid. We became best friends when I became an adult. 60-year-old man died 2 years ago. I got his obituary in the middle console of my Tesla. Man, that's crazy. Do you really want what's behind door number one? Another case of playing stupid games, mess around and find out, says High Tolerance. Long Way ENT says, what's a good laptop that's reasonable? I'm starting classes for cybersecurity. Well, if you're not doing a lot of uploading and downloading, honestly, I think you should get a MacBook Air. You should get a MacBook Air. And if you're using it for school, you can actually get like the student's discount for it or something like that, I believe. I would get a MacBook Air. So I like MacBook Pros, but that's because I do a lot of streaming and stuff. Carrington Love Jr. says, mother effers like 4/5 are embarrassing to blacks. Hate to see them in public asking customer service questions. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's move over into the next story. Did I close that out? Let me make sure I close that out. Miami Hurricanes linebacker is arrested and charged in a crash that killed 3 people, including 2 children. We're going to spend 10 minutes on this. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Live, this is News Channel 8 at 5 on your side.
Darius Hayes' egregious speed, aggressive and reckless lane changes, and complete disregard for the surrounding traffic conditions. These actions directly led to the tragic deaths of the 3 victims.
A linebacker for the Miami Hurricanes is now facing vehicular homicide charges in connection with a crash that claimed the lives of a woman and 2 children. Good evening. I'm Jennifer Lee.
And I'm Josh Benson. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. That crash happened in May at the intersection of Orangeview Drive and Ridge Road in Largo. News Channel 8's Ryan Arbogast joins us live from the Pinellas County Jail with more on the story. Ryan.
Josh, Hayes first turned himself into the Largo Police Department earlier this morning before he was transported here to the Pinellas County Jail. Now, we were the only ones here at the Pinellas County Jail when Hayes walked out after posting bond, and we had the chance to ask him 2 questions.
Darius, any comment?
Nothing to say to News Channel 8. On the way out of the Pinellas County Jail, you are watching a Miami Hurricanes linebacker try to hide his face.
Anything you want to say to the victims?
The sophomore in college charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide after law enforcement says he was driving this Dodge Durango in the area of Orangeview Drive and Ridge Road in early May, swerving, cutting across multiple lanes, and going nearly double the speed limit.
I'm almost thinking that these cars, the anything Hellcat in it, anything with a 5.7, a 6.2 liter in it, Hemi, Hellcat, all of this stuff almost needs to be banned from black men, honestly. It just needs to be banned from black men altogether. Real talk. And Arabic and Chaldean and Asians. Well, Asians, they like racers. You know what I'm saying? They like the Civic Type R's. They like the, they always take an Infiniti or something like that, or, anything like that. They'll take an old Acura or something. But these things absolutely need to be banned, bro. Real talk. Because whatever spirit is in these cars, it just ruins y'all life and it ruins y'all career, and then y'all don't have nothing else to say for it. It's like something take over, bro. It's something that takes over y'all when y'all jump in these cars. I think that you have to be, how your insurance don't drop until you reach like 24, 25, 26 years old. Then your insurance goes down because you become less of a liability as a driver. I think that should be a rule on some of these cars that's being sold, because y'all just can't handle them, bro. Can't handle them. I pull up to a dude. I was in Mines. I had, because I got a Challenger Hellcat or whatever, and I'm just chilling. Me, I ain't into all of that. Only time I really take off is if I'm on the freeway and I feel like somebody is following me or something like that, right? But for the most part, I'm slow motion, unless I'm cruising on the freeway or something like that, right? And I might go 5, 10 over or whatever. But I pull up to the light and I'm just chilling, listening to Gunna's new album or whatever. And I see a dude that pull up to the light and he got a scat pack. He in a scat pack. You can see the big bumblebee right there on the side of his car. Go. I'm just looking at him. I'm okay. I'm good. You got it. Come on, let's go. Light turn red, we go. The first thing that come to my mind is, don't you see the Hellcat logo on my car? You got a scat pack. That's number one. The second thing I'm looking at is he got the spiky hair, can't be any older than 27, 26 years old. Got a wife beater on. Okay, so I'm profiling him. This is honest to God true. Profiling him, got the wife beater on. Okay. So he don't understand that this is a Hellcat. That's a scat pack. All right, cool. And so usually when this type of thing happens, I'll be like, all right, let's go. Let's get it. All right, let's go. Let's get it. And so he rev it up, As soon as he take off, I see him. He lose control. Start fishtailing. I don't even take off. I'm just sitting there. I never race him. I just sit there and I just be looking. I act like I'm about to go. All right, let's go then. And I just, and then he start fishtailing. Almost lose control of the car. Then he straighten it up. He got it back together. Don't even know how to drive it. About to kill somebody. Now, if I would have took off with him, he could have fishtailed and hit me, and then we would have both been sitting there looking stupid. Boom, boom, boom.
Prior to impact.
Law enforcement says that the driver of this Kia was making a legal left when the cars smashed into each other. They call the crash a direct result of reckless driving.
These actions directly led to the tragic deaths of the 3 victims.
10-year-old Jabari Solomon, 4-year-old Charlie Solomon Riviera, and 78-year-old Gail Price were all killed. The boy's father narrowly survived.
And that's the danger that you run when you got people that are inexperienced on the road, sitting there joyriding and driving recklessly. When you see it, you just got to chill out and just stop. When you see it, you got to chill out and just stop and just slow down. Just slow down. Don't make any sudden movements. Don't take off. Don't try to keep up with them. Don't observe them. Don't do any of that stuff. Just, it's messed up. It's messed up. And so now you got 2 kids and a grandfather, and then the dad barely survived. And when the dad came up and woke up out of the hospital, ain't nobody that was in the car with him survived. Messed up. And he ruined his entire life and his entire career And now he got to live with it for the rest of his life that he killed somebody, all because you wanted to keep going crazy. When I take off at a light, I look both ways before I even take off. I don't just wait for the green and just go. I look both ways. When I'm on the freeway, I'm always checking my rear view. I can see somebody looking for a death wish on a motorcycle, or, you see somebody driving crazy and usually it's somebody racing behind them on the freeway, and I just go ahead. I just stay in my lane. I don't even move. Because if you move out of your lane, out of the way, thinking that you're getting out of their way, that's when it's going to become a problem. And he in college. He a college linebacker and just threw his whole life away because he wanted to go crazy. And bro, when you get visibility, when you are on a team and all of that stuff, you got more responsibility on your shoulders. He probably gonna get kicked off the team, all of that stuff, bro.
You have the death of 3 innocent people that were just traveling on the roadways. So, yes, they're very serious charges.
Over the last few months, law enforcement reviewed video footage from a nearby truck that captured the crash in real time and interviewed eyewitnesses who saw the scene on May 10th.
The investigation concluded that Darius Hayes' egregious speed, aggressive and reckless lane changes, and complete disregard for the surrounding traffic conditions demonstrated a willful and deliberate disregard for the safety of others.
What I've learned in my older age is that it's much, much, much better to survive than to get involved with these nonsense. Look at that car, bro. That car is absolutely mangled. Absolutely mangled. They was probably going home, going to breakfast, going to visit grandma, taking the kids back, showing, like, hug your family, take care of your people, show some love to people, because you never know when it's somebody that's going to be driving down the street in a Hellcat going crazy. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. It's sad, bro. It's super sad. Man, that's messed up. Everybody just died. And again, you see how he just walked out? Y'all see how he just walked out? Not a scratch on him, not none of that. Usually the people that commit the crimes, the drunk drivers, the people that is going too fast, do you know what usually happens to them? Nothing. They walk out unscathed. They don't even have an injury. They walk in regular, ain't got a scratch on their face, just normal. Whole family killed. Airbags in every direction is all deployed, but they just walking out like normal and ain't nothing happened to them. They just cool. They chilling. Just be chilling. Don't have nothing wrong. Ain't even got a nick. Ain't missing a fingernail. Nothing. Just be regular. Just be normal out here in these streets. I don't know if it was any super chats that I was supposed to read, but I lost them when my connection got messed up for a second. So I apologize to you guys for that. If that is the case, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me continue on with the show. In the meantime, one more thing that we got to make sure that we address as far as this recklessness out here. And it's so much. It just seems like it's so many injuries, so many accidents, so much death, so many carjacking, so much crime. Before we head over to Chicago, right? Because we going to Chicago right after this. It's so many innocent people that are losing their lives. I don't know what that is. So many innocent people that are getting hurt. I don't know what that is. In this instance, 3 kids was stolen from a 7-Eleven. They was in a car. And so the 3 kids is in a car. Apparently somebody hopped in a car from a 7-Eleven. And then the person that was in the car got into a violent crash.
kids were still in the car when the chase ended in a violent crash on PCH in Malibu.
Tonight, we're learning new details about this dangerous ordeal. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo live in Westwood this evening, where the children, two of them, remain in the hospital tonight. Tim.
Well, Jory, Nico, that entire family here in the hospital now for a second night after this crash that happened yesterday afternoon. We followed it live as it happened, but today we're getting more details filled in from the Sheriff's Department of exactly how that car was stolen in the first place and now how those children, all under the age of 10, are doing tonight. 3 young children all on the mend at the hospital today after being stuck inside a stolen car, which was involved in a police pursuit that ended in a violent crash. The Sheriff's Department says this sedan was parked at a 7-Eleven on Olympic in East LA Friday evening. Mom left the car running with the kids inside to run inside the store. Deputies say Dad was actually parked next to the running car and saw the suspect hop in the driver's seat and take off with the kids inside. He even tried to jump on the stolen sedan, but was dragged as the carjacker sped off. An hour-long pursuit only ended when another car, turning onto PCH in Malibu, was T-boned. The impact sliding into 2 other cars.
That's crazy. With 3 kids in a car? That is insane, bro. I wasn't expecting that.
The kids inside. He even tried to jump on the stolen sedan, but was dragged as the carjacker sped off. An hour-long pursuit only ended when another car, turning onto PCH in Malibu, was T-boned. The impact sliding into 2 other cars. That driver spoke with ABC7.
And he got out and ran.
Impact.
Yo, he got out and ran too. Dog. Y'all are some monsters out here, bro. Sheesh. And he running.
And my sister was in the car behind me, and I was just hoping they didn't push me far back enough to hit her car.
The kids inside were all hurt, and those whose cars were also bumped in the aftermath of the crash got a first-hand look at the first responders.
Is the kid being picked up off of the concrete?
Hoping I did.
The impact sliding into 2 other cars. That driver spoke with ABC7 off camera.
Brace for impact, and my sister was in the car behind me, and I was just hoping they didn't push me far back enough to hit her car.
The kids inside were all hurt, and those whose cars were also bumped in the aftermath of the crash got a first-hand look at the first responders running right to the children.
It was hard to see them, but I knew that they were well taken care of by the cops, and the ambulance was here really quickly.
The suspect who took off running even after that violent crash was eventually caught. Although one driver we spoke with last night says the suspect made a last-ditch effort to steal another car.
I didn't know it was him. I thought it was a random guy trying to tell us to turn around.
The guy came out of nowhere, came up to the front of my car, came up to my car, opened up my car door, and that's when I hit the gas.
The 3 young children, as well as the elderly driver of the sedan that was broadsided, were all rushed to the hospital, but we're told all have non-life-threatening injuries. The family of the 3 kids have started a GoFundMe, and in the post.
Bruh. This is crazy. What is happening? Oh, we switch back over. Okay. You and your wife is sitting there with y'all 3 kids. Y'all chilling. She run in because you followed her to 7-Eleven. And at first I was about to say like, oh man, she shouldn't have went in there with the car running. But the man was there. The man was sitting there right there next to the car. They park in a 7-Eleven. Don't worry, it switched over. It switched over to the other internet once it came back on. So you sitting there and everything goes, you know what I'm saying? You at the 7-Eleven, a dude pulls up, jumps in the car of your kid with your kids in it. You jump on the hood and yo, listen, hey man, my kid's in the car, and it's dragging you. Dude is dragging you. Because you see, at first I was about to say, man, why he ain't follow him? And then when I found out he got dragged, then he take off with your kids in a car. Then you find out on the news that it was a car crash, and it just so happens to be the car with your kids in it. And the dude is hot tailing it up the freeway. You know what the worst part is about this story? Looking at the children hospitalized. You know what the worst part about this story is? Is that California laws are so lenient, it's a possibility he might get out of jail. California laws are so lenient, it's a possibility that he might get out of jail. You saying it looks like the cops gave him a beating? I don't think that that's him. I think that that's the kids. That's not him. That's not him. That's the kids.
Say the 2-year-old, the youngest, has been discharged from the hospital, but the older 2 children will be here for at least another night.
That's the kids. That was a GoFundMe for the kids. That's not him. That's the kids, bro. Y'all said, no, AD, he going. How can we be so sure? California laws are very, very lenient. California laws are very, very lenient. How can you be sure? How can you be sure when the California laws are so lenient the way that it's lenient? Let's see what the GoFundMe is at. It is at 8740 from 125 donations. Malibu car pursuit, 3 children, ages 2 to 7 and 9 were hospitalized after being kidnapped in a carjacking in a single second. 3 children are hospitalized. The youngest is being discharged today. During these hard times, we want to thank all of the people that made it possible for the children to come back safely, for all of the effort put in by strangers to help a terrified mother and a desperate father. And then it's in Spanish. So I'm guessing that the children is Spanish. Organizer is Catherine Tax in Los Angeles. And so that's what it is. So right now it's got 8,700. What do we want to give? What do we want to give? 1K? No, I can't be giving y'all my personal information now. Oh, let me see something. Google, Venmo, credit, debit. Yeah, I can't give y'all my personal info. Hold on. Oh, look at my information about to pop up and everything. Hold on for a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. How much y'all think we should give? I'm gonna let the chat decide. What should we give to this? Chat, y'all in charge today. What should we give? What do we want to give in order to make sure that these people is taken care of? The actual request, let me show y'all what the request is. Let's go back to the actual thing. So this is where they at. They looking for 11K. They got 8740 raised. All right, let me share with y'all what the actual request is. So they looking for 11K, 8740 raised. 500, 1,000, 2,500, 1K in increments, 1,500, 70,000. Okay, nah. 300. How about this? Somebody said, how much do they have left? I think somebody said, how much do they have left? Jordan, one of mine, says how much they have left. 2260. What's the difference? 2260, y'all? What's the difference? 2260? I think somebody did the math. That sounds about right. 2260. All right, so let's do 2260. All right, give me a second. Can't give y'all my personal information. Anton Daniels, card number 572 255 73. All right. Wait a minute. What is this GoFundMe tip thing? Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now let me show y'all what's going on here. All right. What is this GoFundMe tip thing? Why is a tip $400? Why is a tip $400? All right, hold on. Let me figure this out. So the tip is a why is the tip $400? Oh, you gotta, okay. All right, so you can give how much? No, the tip is gonna be $100, not $400. So that's more like it. So this is what we gonna do, y'all. All right. So the tip is gonna be $100 for the platform. The tip is gonna be $100 for the platform, and then we're gonna tip the $22.60 in order to make sure that we complete it. All right. All right. So we topped it off. All right. So we topped it off. So fundraiser is done and everything is all set. All right. So we made sure that we donated to the people, and they was looking to raise 11,000. We topped it off. And so everybody is happy. Hopefully the kids find themselves in a better space and they can get their medical bills paid for or whatever like that. All right. All right. So goal reached. And that's the end of that. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else in the story.
But the older two children will be here for at least another night. Yeah, we are told by family, according to that post, those older children are 7 and 9 years old. 2, 7, and 9, all young kids having to go through that ordeal. As for the suspect, he was hospitalized as well after that chase and being taken down by police officers. No details released about his identity or his charges, but you can imagine he will be facing plenty of those. We're live tonight in Westwood, outside UCLA Medical Center.
Now the only problem that we have Now the only problem that we have, ladies and gentlemen, is that we got to make sure that whoever this culprit is held accountable. Now we got to figure out how the culprit is held accountable. The problem isn't the money. The problem is, how do you stop this from happening in all of these different places? You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We got to head over to not Miami, Chicago. We got to head to Chicago next, Chi-Town. We got to head to Chi-Town next. All right. Mr. Spock says, hi, Anton. Been seeing your shorts for quite some time, and I've enjoyed them. First time coming to your channel and catching a live. Thanks. Shout out to Mr. Spock. I like that. Manny, well, good thing you came in when we was donating, right? My thing is, why didn't the dad get in the car with the kids? Listen, the dad was there with the mom. Maybe they was doing, who knows? Trey says, I still watch the old videos from year backs for motivation sometimes. A lot of free game was dropped back then. Facts. Mr. Spock says, not much, but this is to help with the GoFundMe you just did. You were good. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Listen. Let me be very careful with this, though. Let me be very, very careful. I want to be very careful and very clear with you guys. I am not asking you for anything, okay? Everything that you guys give is going to be based off of whatever your own heartfelt desire is to support the platform. I don't ask for donations. I don't ask y'all to hit nothing. I don't ask y'all to hit the Cash App. I don't ask y'all for super chats. Anytime that people give to this platform is just because you love the show. So if you're supporting me, then just do it. The only thing I ask for is that y'all, you know what I'm saying, do what's best for y'all and just rock out like that. I'm very blessed. I am very, very blessed, and I'm thankful that I am able to do what I love to do. And, you know, that I get to stream on a daily basis and hopefully add value into y'all life. I want to be very clear. If y'all if y'all looking out for me, then just make sure that you love the platform. And if you're supporting the platform, then that's cool, but don't do it as a reimbursement. I did that because that's what I wanted to do. All right. All right. They just raised the goal to say, where? Let me see this. Hold on. I got to see now. Let me see. Oh, man. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me see what's happening out here in these streets. I got to see. How does that work? All right. Well, I gave out of the goodness of my heart. How did that happen? How did that play out? How did this just happen? How did this play out? How's this a thing? How did it go up to 16K? I thought it was 11. Shout out to Mr. Spock. Says, not much, but this is the help with the GoFundMe you just did. You're a good man, Ant. Turbulent Inflation says, what up, though? I appreciate you for the 20 ball. High Tolerance says, have you gotten word on the Kentucky cheerleader that delivered and bagged up her newborn? Sounds like a case of reckless buzz down. No, I ain't heard nothing about that one. The Gray Way says, funny how the Dusty Hate Watchers never talk about these episodes. May God continue to bless you like you do to others. Miss Salat says, it was either support the channel or trick off on one of these downtown yoga chicks. Still might do that later. Shout out to my dog, Miss Salat. I appreciate you. GoFundMe is the original scammer. Well, we know now. We know for the future. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why we say FTKJK. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, Unbiasedly Raw. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. Make sure you tap into the Patreon link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I don't get caught up in all of the rest of this stuff. I was checking a text message from somebody else. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. We got to move over to Chicago. All right. Do I got that lined up already? Do I got Chicago lined up already? Let's see. We here. We in Chicago. Let's get it popping, y'all.
A deadly Labor Day weekend in Chicago as President Trump continues to set his eye on the city, threatening to send in the National Guard as early as this week. At least 52 people have been shot in Chicago over the Labor Day weekend. 7 of those victims died.
The violence included 3 mass shootings that happened at Haddon in California, in Chicago's Humboldt Park neighborhood, and 2 in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood, 35th and State and 36th and Cottage Grove. ABC 7's Jasmine Miner talked to people in Bronzeville about concerns about 2 mass shootings happening within 48 hours.
Many here in Bronzeville describe the neighborhood as on the come up, and they say they're not going to let the violence stop the positive work they're doing. For one woman, that means keeping kids healthy, active, and on the field.
Come on. We're gonna push through because it disservices the kids.
Alexis Hawthorne, owner of the top-tier university football youth program, says even gun violence won't keep her from serving kids in need. Their practice comes just a few hours and down the road from a mass shooting early this morning. 5 people were shot near 36th and Cottage Grove near Ellis Park, including a 17-year-old who was in critical condition.
At the end of the day, to have one person that was critically injured and 4 folks in the hospital, whatever the situation was, it was senseless.
It is the second mass shooting in Bronzeville in the last 48 hours. The other happened on Saturday night near 35th and State, where 7 people were hurt during a drive-by. Those like Alderman Pat Howell are taking action, telling ABC 7 in a statement, "I have long asked for additional police manpower to deal with large illegal gatherings and pop-up parties that routinely occur throughout the Bronzeville neighborhood." It follows Mayor Brandon Johnson signing an executive order this week to avoid the Trump administration from sending the National Guard into the streets of Chicago.
Us as people, we can come together and fix it out on our own. We don't need no one to come here and, wreck shack our.
I asked this on the Anton Daniels channel when I was reviewing this video and while I was giving people an update on what was going on over in Chicago. And when people like this say, we don't need nobody to come in and fix it for us, I'm almost inclined to advocate against the Trump administration from coming into Chicago at all and stopping the violence. The only thing that I ask is that no tax dollars, no federal tax dollars actually go over to Chicago in return for your ask that you don't want any help or anybody to come over and add value into what y'all got going on. I'm almost like that's my initial reaction when I see people say stuff like this. That is my initial reaction, is to say, you right, you got it. You right, you got it. Because the second question that I have to ask myself is, if y'all got it, then how come y'all haven't been able to solve for it over the last 43 years of my life? Why we keep advocating for Chicago, y'all? They don't want to help themselves. They don't even care. I mean, there are some like Chicago flips red or whatever. Why we not letting them deal with their own mess that they created for themselves? This is y'all mess. Why Trump gotta help y'all? And you're right. You're right. I understand Trump actually fixing the Capitol and making sure that the Capitol of the United States of America is taken care of so that, that's where the White House is. That's where the Treasury is. We had to drag them kicking and screaming. And then Mayor Bowser came over later on and said, you know what? Thank the Trump administration for stopping all of the carjackings and the killings was going crazy. And we stopped that. And they cleaned up the MARTA and they did all of this. Why do we keep on begging them to do what's best for them? Chicago is nothing but a dope fiend. They're the dope fiend person that's in your family that continue to do bad, but everybody keep enabling bad behavior because they keep saying, we gonna put you in there, we gonna have you stay with us, we gonna put you in this facility, we gonna make sure that you do this, we gonna make sure you do that. Why we can't just let them have themselves? Let them eat each other. What is like, why are we trying to say, and I get it. Yep, it's a part of the United States of America, and Trump is the president of everybody, and so he gonna do the right thing for everybody, regardless of whether or not you voted for him or not. But why? Why are we fighting them for something that half of them don't even care about? They overwhelmingly voted for Mayor Brandon Johnson, even though it was a historical low turnout. They overwhelmingly voted for Brandon Johnson to become the mayor of and they voted for Lori Lightfoot. And they voted for Lori Lightfoot. What are we fighting them for? They said that they don't want our help. Listen to what she got to say. She said it.
Into the streets of Chicago.
Us as people, we can come together and fix it out on our own. We don't need no one to come here and, wreck shack our community.
Others.
The mayor is saying, listen, we don't want y'all to come in here. We got it. The community is saying, we don't want y'all to come in here. We got it. The voters clearly are voting with their vote, and the people that don't vote don't feel like they vote do anything anyway, and so they don't really care. Why not let them? I mean, honestly, this is a different mindset, and I know we having a different conversation, but why not just let them have each other? Why not let them rock out? What we fighting them for? Why are we trying to convince them that it makes sense for them to fix their communities? Why are we trying to save their lives? We don't live there. We don't live there. Most of us that's here right now watching this show, we live in nice, safe, good communities don't have a $734 million budget deficit for our school systems. They can't pay for their schools. They can't pay for their city. They can't pay for themselves. They just wall it off. It's right by the water. Wall it off. What we fighting y'all for? Huh? Because the actual count is 54 plus people that got shot over the weekend alone. Over 7 people dead. No, over 8 people dead.
Topping your news at 4:30, more than 50 people shot and 7 killed across Chicago so far this holiday weekend. Now, the violence is rising as conversations have been heating up about President Trump's preparation to possibly deploy the National Guard. CBS News Chicago investigator Tara Molina live for us at CPD headquarters. Tara, you found out that this weekend was, in fact, much more violent than it has been this time in previous years.
That's right, Marie. Significantly more violent. Nearly double the shootings this holiday.
773 says, don't speak for the whole city, sir. We have almost 7 million people across the suburbs and the city. Play they interview certain people. But here's the thing, though. Okay, we can look at it from that lens and say, well, that's just one person's opinion. But it's not, because the majority of people in Chicago actually voted for Brandon Johnson. Y'all got J.B. Pritzker in the office multiple terms, and y'all got Brandon Johnson, who is the successor after Lori Lightfoot. So that tells me that y'all don't want something different. This is exactly what y'all wanted, because it's not like he said that he's going to do anything different than he is. Brandon Johnson is exactly who he said he was. Brandon Johnson is exactly who he said he was. So if you're telling me that, no, they don't speak for it, I would tell you that she actually does. She actually is a representation of what the city is. Your vote says differently. The city council, your aldermen say differently. The majority of people. How much did Brandon Johnson win by? How many people is in Chicago? How many people is in Chicago? Brandon Johnson, hold on. Let me pull this up because I want to make sure that we all on the same page as usual. Chicago 2023 mayoral election. Brandon Johnson defeats Paul Vallis, which it don't even have to be Paul Vallis because Paul Vallis, that's the final, right? Y'all still had a primary. Y'all not interested in even looking at anything conservative, so let's throw that in there. He won 51 point. Brandon Johnson won over 51.4% of the vote. So that means that more than half of the people actually voted for Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson said to offer the olive branch to the people that didn't vote for him. He says to Chicagoans who did not vote for me, here's what you want. Here's what I want you to know. That I care about you, I value you, I want to hear from you, and I want to work with you. I'll be the mayor for you too. Oh my God. Throughout the campaign, Johnson has faced questions over whether he would be impartial in negotiations with his own union, to which he responded, "Who better to deliver bad news to friends than a friend?" Crazy, bro. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So y'all definitely didn't want the white man. Well, like I said, y'all got what y'all voted for. Y'all got what y'all wanted.
Weekend, then we tracked the last holiday weekend, and all of this as Chicago is under a very strong national spotlight. I asked police about that.
I got him. Pull up.
You're looking at the scene of a mass shooting in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood early this morning, where police tell us 5 people between 17 and 36 years old were hurt. Recovering 4 guns from the scene, investigators are still looking into what happened. It's the 3rd mass shooting we've told you about this holiday weekend. With 7 people shot Saturday on South State Street, 2 women and 5 men hurt. Police say a shooter opened fire on a crowd from a car. And Sunday in Humboldt Park, 4 hurt in a drive-by shooting on West Haddon, opening fire from 2 cars, 3 women and a man shot.
It's a holiday weekend, and that means there's a greater.
What the this is a family show on the week. What the piss is on his head? Yo, who is this guy?
Possibility for pop-up parties to be.
What the piss is that? Arthur Larigio? This guy looks crazy, bro. Ain't no other pictures of him like that. He was a head of faculty, PhD, Loyola University, Chicago. This guy looked insane, bro. That looks insane. It ain't even fully attached to his head. It's not even fully attached to his head. What the piss kind of man unit is that? It's like it's like a helmet. It's like he picked it up and he sat it on his head. Have y'all ever seen anything like that before? I've never seen something like that before in my entire life, bro. What a day, man. What a week. What a weekend. It has been a wild time. I am going to get my life together. I promise you I am.
Enter criminologist Arthur Larigio, who tells me the weather we've enjoyed this weekend is a contributing factor to the violence we're tracking.
Some of the shootings we saw this weekend
is matted in the back.
Total of about 55 and close to 10 people have been killed, have been outside in groups. And that can account for the large number of people who were shot and shot at.
I took a closer look at the numbers and found last Labor Day weekend, 26 people were shot in Chicago, 5 killed. This year, more than 50 people shot and 7 killed. Police are not commenting on the increase or addressing questions, telling me they'll share finalized information tomorrow. But with a national spotlight on Chicago,
DC was an easy one to explain. Coming into Chicago is a different circumstance. And so we don't have a need for a national presence here. But this past weekend is going to be the precipitant to give Trump.
They don't have a need for a national presence there. Got it. 50 people shot in the weekend. Cool.
The opportunity to bring in the National Guard.
Coming up at 6, more on crimes that have happened across the city this holiday weekend. And again, I'm told police will not have finalized numbers on the violence that we've been tracking until tomorrow.
So we'll get an official count of how many. Matter of fact, let me just pull it up right now. Nine people have been killed in Chicago. Over 54 shot over Labor Day weekend. So 54 people were shot, 9 people killed. That is the official number. 9 people killed, 54 people shot. No, I'm sorry, 58 people shot. 9 and 58 is the official numbers. They don't need help, though. They don't need help, though. Let me just pivot directly over to Brandon Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I think this is sad. I do. I think it's sad that we even having this conversation right now. But let's get straight over to Brandon Johnson and see what he got to say about this whole situation. Why? Why? What is going on here today? What's happening? Why is this a thing?
Well, thousands of people took to the streets of Chicago this Labor Day to protest plans by President Trump to send National Guard troops into the city. The president has called Chicago, quote, a mess, and he wants the Guard to help fight crime there as troops are already doing so in Washington. Nancy Cortez is at the White House with more on that.
Chicago officials say they're hearing it will be days, not weeks, before National Guard troops, like the ones patrolling D.C., arrive in their city over their objections.
You're supposed to serve the people. We are the people.
Over the long weekend, President Trump mentioned Chicago 3 times on social media, warning the Illinois governor to straighten out crime fast or we're coming. This weekend alone, more than 50 people were shot in Chicago, though the murder rate has fallen by 50% over the past 4 years.
Every single citizen deserves to be safe.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem confirmed on Face the Nation that a greater federal presence is coming to Chicago, starting with a surge in immigration raids.
We do intend to add more resources to those operations. I won't disclose the details because they are law enforcement and investigative folks that are on the ground there, and I want to make sure we keep their security our #1 priority.
In Washington, D.C., there are now 2,300 National Guard troops armed and deployed, though by law they cannot perform law enforcement duties themselves.
This is an erratic, impulsive administration.
On Saturday, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson signed an executive order directing the Chicago Police Department not to collaborate with military personnel on police patrols or ICE raids.
We do not want to see tanks in our streets. We do not want to see families ripped apart. We do not want grandmothers thrown into the back of unmarked vans.
This now from the White House as the president weighs whether troops will end up in Chicago next. Has he given any indication as to how long those National Guard troops will stay in D.C.? What's the long-term plan?
Jerika, the president hasn't given an end date yet. He simply says that he wants to make sure that crime levels here in D.C. don't bounce back to their former levels once the Guard leaves town. Now, Democrats have argued that by law, he needs to go to Congress for approval if he wants to extend their employment past 30 days. And it's been about 20 so far. But President Trump says he thinks Congress is going to side with him.
Fever. Solidarity is an antidote to homophobia and transphobia.
This is a rally that was happening in Chicago.
Solidarity is an antidote to people not having and needing. It is solidarity that reunites us. It is solidarity that keeps us. It is solidarity that supports us. It is solidarity that makes these United States of America for the people and
of a preacher and the son of a union worker. A little bit more.
Wait a minute, that's ain't that Jamal Bryant right there? What is Jamal Bryant doing in Chicago at a rally for Brandon Johnson? Why is Jamal? You know what? Honestly, I think that Jamal Bryant. I'm not sure that there is somebody that I dislike more than Jamal Bryant. I'm not sure that there is anybody, any preacher, anybody that I dislike more than Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant is trying to take up the mantle of Al Sharpton and all the rest of them. There is not one person that I dislike more. I'm not sure. I'd have to think. I'd really have to think. Jamal Bryant, it aggravates me. He aggravated me back when he had something to say about Kevin Samuels. He aggravated me when he then had these other takes that was outlandish and crazy. Jamal Bryant is probably one of the worst people that I've ever seen in my entire life. Aggravates me, just burns my always right there advocating for the worst things for the community. He was right there with Fonnie Willis. Now he over there with Brandon Johnson. He was on a Zesty platform talking about, he was just with Jason Lee, wasn't he? D.L. Hughley is pretty bad. Maybe D.L. Hughley is worse.
Out there, no federal troops in the city of Chicago. No militarized force in the city of Chicago. We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago. We're going to protect the humanity of every single person in the city of Chicago. And we got the baddest freaking labor movement in the city of Chicago, birthed right here. We're going to take this fight across America, but we got to defend the home front first. And the best way we defend the home front is to make sure that every single worker has a livable wage. That's why we abolished the sub-minimum wage in Chicago for brown and black women. They get raises on top of their tips. This is the city of Chicago, where we have given paid time off for over 1 million workers, 10 days off, the biggest city in America to ever do it. This is the labor movement, you all. On pace to build more affordable units, a teacher's contract that protects black women, a teacher's contract that protects the LGBTQIA community, the teacher contract that protects immigrants. This is the greatest freaking city in the world.
All of the things that's wrong with America. All of the things that is wrong with America, y'all voted this guy in the office, bro. Every single thing that he says is the opposite of what America should be, is what God has ordained it to be, and he has the nerve to be the son of a preacher. And he's advocating for the alphabet community, and he's separating it and making sure that he's prioritizing black women, not even white women. Black women are the ones that he's saying that he's putting in these protections for. Alphabet community people is who he's putting in these protections for. If that's not racist, I don't know what is. Oh my God. This is a public figure, a mayor of a major city that is saying this on this platform.
Chi-town. Now look, that we don't have the power to beat authoritarianism, but I'm also a history teacher as well. We have stood up for the interests of workers before, and we will do it again. And no matter what comes from the White House, Chicago will always be a labor town. Are you with me, Chicago? Now finally, we have seen this president shift the largest concentration of wealth into the hands of the few. Justice Brandeis made it very clear. He said we can either have a democracy or we can have wealth in the hands of the concentrated few. But he says we cannot have both. Are you prepared to defend this land that was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people, a land that is built by workers? Are you prepared to defend this land? The people united will always prevail. I need you all to stand firm, to stand strong. If this president decides to continue to break this Constitution, it's going to be the labor movement that stitches it back together. The labor movement that brings black folks, white folks, Asians. It brings brown folks together. This is the city that said keep hope alive. The city that birthed yes we can. And the city that will defend this country. God bless you all. God bless the labor movement. God bless the greatest freaking city in the world. Chi-town. No troops in Chicago. No troops in Chicago. No troops in Chicago. Invest in Chicago. Invest in Chicago. No troops in Chicago. Invest in Chicago. God bless you. Love you all.
Where we fight! Where we fight! Where we fight!
What is happening, y'all? What is going on?
This is a critical moment. It's a critical moment in American history where history will have to record that the fight for democracy was birthed in Chicago. Those of you who still believe in liberty and justice for all, would you make some noise right now if you still believe in it?
God, these people drain my life force. Why? Why do y'all rock with these people? Didn't he take over Eddie Long's church? When Eddie Long got kicked out? Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. On the flip side, before I read super chats really quickly, Trump has labeled Chicago one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Let's deep dive into it.
Just moments ago, new attacks on Chicago from President Trump and a new promise to impose federal law enforcement to fight crime on the ground. He said, quote, Chicago is the worst and most dangerous city in the world by far. He added, I will solve the crime problem fast, just like I did in D.C. Chicago will be safe again and soon. Now,
at least 54 people, which I think it was 57 or 58. At least 54 people were shot in Chicago over the weekend, 8 people killed. Actually, some people are saying it's 9 people killed. The last 2 weekends were similar. Chicago was the worst and most dangerous city in the world by far. Pritzker, J.B. Pritzker, that is, he's the governor of Illinois, needs help badly. He just doesn't know it yet. I will solve the crime problem fast, just like I did in D.C. Chicago will be safe again and soon. Make America great again.
we should note that Chicago does not rank in the FBI's top 10 list of the most violent cities in the United States. And you will see Memphis, Nashville, Kansas City there. Those are all cities. Houston, in states with Republican governors, and the president not threatening to send in the National Guard to those cities. Now, having said Chicago's not in the top 10, it was a violent weekend there. At least 56 people shot, 7 people killed. Chicago's violent crime rate, though, is dropping. So it is that complicated picture. Let's get right to CNN's Elena Treen at the White House for the latest on what the president's saying. Good morning, Elena.
Good morning, John. And look, I mean, it's clear, very clear from if you've been following what the president has been saying over the last week or so and what he's been posting, a couple posts this morning included, he is really fixated on Chicago right now. And what we did, what we're learning is, one, my colleagues and I broke the news last week that they are planning a major surge in federal law enforcement officials, specifically immigration related officials. That includes ICE and Customs and Border Patrol and other agencies to Chicago.
Y'all saying that the stats got to be wrong or whatever. This is usually what happens. You can go by any metric and then you can pull up something, right? Because, like, for example, Nashville was on the list. I've never seen Nashville ever be on any list of the most dangerous cities in the United States of America. So they went to some obscure, oh man, this is what the FBI said about this particular statistic or whatever. And then that's what they hit you with, right? I've never seen any of that type of stuff, right? So Nashville, Tennessee, get the heck out of here, right? So I didn't even know Nashville was a city that had that level of visibility when it came to crime in the first place. So you got to remember, when we looking at these conversations and when we having these conversations, we're having a conversation with CNN. I like to go to multiple different platforms, local, national, international, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, whatever, right? In order to have a conversation. I don't want to just stay in an echo chamber. I want to see what everybody is talking about. So you got to remember what you're listening to, and then we take it into consideration. So let's get back to what they're saying about Chicago.
To deal with immigration. But all of that coming as the president continues to argue that he wants to try and do what he is doing here in Washington, D.C., in Chicago as well. Now, I do want to be clear in my conversations with White House officials. They've told me that the operation we're likely to see begin this week, we're told it's expected to begin on Friday, is really going to be immigration focused. That's about it. It is not about domestic crime like it is here in D.C. They still have to work out some of the details of that because, again, again, Chicago is in a state of Illinois. They have a governor, not really the case here in D.C. And so there's some legal questions about what the president and this administration is actually able to do. But as part of this immigration push, we're told it's similar to what we saw happen in L.A. earlier this year. We are also seeing National Guard troops kind of being put on standby and being prepared to be sent to Chicago to help with that. And so all of this coming as the president, and you said it, is posting again this morning saying essentially that Chicago is the worst and most dangerous city in the world, calling out the Illinois governor, J.B. Pritzker, specifically saying that he needs help badly. He just doesn't know it yet. I mean, he is clearly escalating his rhetoric on Chicago and making very clear what he wants to do there, which is exactly what he's doing here in D.C. It's just a question or not of whether he can actually get to, send the type of federal law enforcement agents there that he has done in this city.
Based on your reporting, we should start to see some of it by the end of the week. Elena Treen at the White House, thank you very much. Kate?
Joining us right now to talk about this is the Lieutenant Governor of Illinois, Juliana Stratton. She's also running for the U.S. Senate seat that Dick Durbin will be vacating. Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much for being here. I want to read, just because the president is speaking out about this on social media just this morning. Here's what he said to get you to respond. At least 54 people were shot in Chicago over the weekend. 8 people were killed. The last 2 weekends were similar. Chicago is the worst and most dangerous city in the world by far, the president writes this morning. Pritzker needs help badly. He just doesn't know it yet. I will solve the crime problem fast, just like I did in D.C. Chicago will be safe again and soon. But John did point out, so did Elena Treen, Chicago's not in the top 20 of cities when it comes to FBI crime stats on violent crime, and not in the top 10 when you talk about overall crime rates. So facts and data are critical. But if, Lieutenant Governor, the president is saying that this morning, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, first of all, let me just say that Donald Trump is not focused on public safety. Look, anytime that there's crime,
how is he not focused on public
safety? In our
safety?
state or around the country, we want to continue to see progress being made, and we are making progress here in Illinois and in the city of Chicago. But this is not about public safety, and this is not about making our residents safer.
How is Trump not focused on public safety when he's literally focused on public safety? When he just made D.C. safe, and now he's saying that they need to set the precedent for Chicago, how is he not making public safety a priority and making public safety the thing that is important for him? Do these people just say stuff? Or are they just talking out of their... That doesn't even make sense. He's focusing on public safety. He's stopping wars across the world while at the same time focusing on public safety.
What Donald Trump wants to happen is he wants to manufacture a crisis. He's going to, as we just talked about, there's going to be a surge of ICE enforcement efforts. He knows that people will see those efforts and then want to speak out. People, good, decent people, will be heartbroken to see their neighbors being snatched off the streets and stuffed into unmarked cars. He wants to inflame tensions, and he wants to make sure that that he can cause some sort of crisis that he can say that he's coming to the rescue. And what we know is that we are going to follow the law here in Illinois. We are going to do everything we can to protect our residents, and we're not going to allow this president who wants to manufacture a crisis, who wants to, quite frankly, make the military presence on American soil something that people normalize. We are going to speak out. We are going to be prepared to do everything we can to protect the residents of our state.
And she's running for a Senate seat. I want y'all to remember that. These politicians don't care about y'all, bro. They don't. They care about their standing so that they can eventually level up and get to the next level. They don't care nothing about y'all. They don't want to speak and I would like for CNN to actually ask a reasonable question. Hey, listen, what about the 57 shootings over this past weekend and a similar amount the weekend before that and a similar amount the weekend before that. How do you stop the killing in the city completely?
Governor said Sunday that there had been no communication, no outreach whatsoever from the Trump administration
ask meaningful questions.
to his. Are you aware that any communication has occurred between the administration and leadership in Illinois since then?
Well, we do know that ICE has informed our Illinois State Police Department that they are going to begin operations sometime later this week. But I want to make sure
at
that
least
everyone
MSNBC
understands
actually
that,
asked some pertinent questions.
Communication is
to
not
Governor
the same as coordination.
what is his name? The
so
dude
we
in Maryland,
got notice
Westmore.
that there's been no direct communication with the governor. There's been no coordination, not just with our administration, but with local law enforcement. And so if this really is about what do we need to do to promote public safety and create safer communities, why would there not be coordination?
Let me ask y'all a question. And again, I think I asked this on Saturday, and I'm asking it again because I didn't get a reasonable answer or answer that I thought met my expectations. Aaliyah says they want us to die out. What does Trump get out of this? What does Trump get out of helping DC and Chicago fix their Democrat-ran cities? What does Trump get out of it? How does he benefit from this? I actually think that he would probably benefit more if he started to focus more on Republican-led states and cities. Go to Nashville. Deploy more ICE agents and all of it. Come to Detroit. I don't care. What does Trump get out of this? How does he benefit from making cities that he doesn't live in safer? I don't see anybody giving me a answer as to what he get out of it. Trump wants America to be successful. C. Diggs, that's probably about the best that I can come up with, because I don't understand the rest of these people. I don't see how they continue, bro. Black leaders, black politicians, and leaders have probably been one of the worst things for black communities ever, bro. Ever. They have gotten rich. They have stolen. They have leveled up in their careers. They have ruined the communities. They have done some diabolical things, man. Diabolical. Under Mayor Coleman A. Young's reign, Detroit was like, man, as soon as we got a black mayor, this city just started going down, down, down. Red team going down. Coleman Young hated white people. He hated dealing with white people. He hated dealing with news anchors. He hated Republicans. And he was just like, yo, let's just run this city into the ground. Black politicians have destroyed more cities and more school systems than anything ever in history, bro. They have destroyed more cities and school systems than anything in history, bro. They are worse than the communities that got burned down in Tulsa. They worse. They 10 times worse, bro. They've had a longer reign. They had worse results. They've stolen more money. They've taken more lives. They've ruined more public safety. I honestly believe that black politicians are worse than the Tulsa whole situation of burning down Tulsa. I honest to God do believe that in my heart, in my core. You know how much money, how many billions of dollars have been pilfered out of black communities and school systems. And it would behoove me, right? So it would make it seem like, no, Anton, Tulsa was worse. That's what it would seem like. No, Anton, Tulsa was worse. But was it? Because Tulsa was overt. And the destruction of our communities and our cities is covert. Tulsa was bad. It was wrong. But it was overt. It was directly in your face, and it was something that you couldn't deny, which forced people to acknowledge it. What happens when the devil operates in the crevices and the cracks and that it's covert, what happens is you allow to destroy for longer and you put in little things that's going to linger for the rest of history. See, nobody has ever had to force a politician to come to the front of the congregation that has destroyed en masse communities and culture to where they would have, nobody has to acknowledge it. See, when you deal with, let's say, for example, you got a racist white person, right? Or you deal with the slavery that happened here and the transatlantic slave trade and the Tulsa bombings and all of that stuff, right? And the lynchings and the hangings. That's overt. So it was right in your face. So now today, people that live in the victim Olympics will say, acknowledge what happened. Acknowledge it. But when you have things that are happening covert from people that look like you, it's 10 times worse. Maybe even 100 times worse, because there is no acknowledgement of it, because nobody truly know what the real problem is. Nobody is willing to call it out because nobody really knows what goes on. All you know is they pop up and they say, hey, Chicago, we got a $734 million budget deficit at Chicago's at CPS, at Chicago Public Schools. From who? Where? When? Why? What do you mean? Y'all didn't know that this was happening? Where did the money go? How are y'all short on money on educating kids that go into educating kids? How are you just missing money? Y'all just missing billions of dollars out of nowhere to just hit you. Boom. Like a bag of bricks. We don't know what happened. Hey, give us some more money. Nowhere can they do that. Nowhere can they do that. Nowhere can you steal right in front of people's faces, don't have to be responsible for it, and you can get a goal and you get a promotion from it. Only in politics. Only in politics. You can't pull that off nowhere. You can't pull that off in a dope game. You run off with somebody's money. You pop up talking about, hey, man, I'm short. You dead. You going to get beat up or you dead, and they want their money ASAP. No more consignment from you. You can't pull that off anywhere. Only in black and white politics in the United States of America do we have rich senators, Congress people, House representatives, mayors, governors. Bro, they live a life that we could only dream of. As an entrepreneur, I will tell you that governors and mayors, Congress people, they live lives that I could only dream of as a person that works relentlessly. They live a life that is hitherto unknown, that we can only dream. They live in the governor's mansions and the mayor's mansions, and they have a security detail and cars, and they have clout, and they determine where the money goes, and they always short, but they always getting reelected based off of telling you that it's the racism and authoritarianism that is against you. Dre, march against fascism. March against fascism. It's a labor union that's going to stitch this thing together. And it's the hope that brings us together and make sure that, when we come together and we work together, it's nothing we can't accomplish. Meanwhile, they be in the back room like, get all of the money. Let's get all of the money. Let's take it all. Don't miss a dollar. Take that one too. Hey, we short on the kids' funds this year. Teachers, y'all just gonna have to go ahead and get it out of y'all money if you want some supplies. Let's come together as a community and make sure that we build together. Hey, get that last dollar over there. Get the last dollar. It's one more dollar, nigga. Just get it. Robbing the community blind. Just take everything. Take everything. Only place where you can get a promotion for doing a bad job. The only place is politics where you can get a promotion for doing a bad job. Just be missing money. Just missing money everywhere. It's always $1 billion or $2 billion missing. They don't even take $1 million. It'd be $1 billion or $2 billion missing. Billions. Hey, man, why is there so many rich people in Washington, D.C.? Isn't that a Democrat liberal place? Maryland, D.C., all of these places. What does everybody do? Oh, we all work for the federal government. Everybody rich? Everybody rich that work for the federal government? Public spaces. Everybody got $1 million home, $2 million home, $3 million home. Everybody just rich. Everybody just rich. Just paying their property taxes with no problems. Mortgages, property taxes, $9,000 mortgages. What do? Oh, I'm a work for the federal government. That's why I moved to D.C. Everybody rich, huh? Everybody rich? Everybody getting money out here, huh? Where the money at? I don't see no entrepreneurs. I don't see nothing but coffee shops out here and Louis Vuitton. Everybody rich, huh? Crazy. Just crazy. Anyways, let me read some of these super chats, bro. Everybody rich. Everybody rich. Sterling Heights for me, AD. Shout out to Sterling Heights. I like Sterling Heights. Sterling Heights is a good community here in Michigan. Jacquel says, greetings and blessings, AD family and bag chasers. Did you catch Mayor Mohawk's speech on Labor Day? Straight panda for black women. Yeah, I just caught it. I just read it. Mark the Guardian says, it wasn't too long ago Detroit was in the same position as a dumpster fire. People said Detroit was not worth saving, so can Chicago. Just saying. Well, here's the thing, Mark the Guardian. Detroit had to file for bankruptcy. That's why we're having this conversation, is because we've seen it before. I live in Detroit. I witnessed it. I grew up in it. I watched it. They had to file for bankruptcy, and first we had to, and then you know what else we did right after that? You know what we did after we filed for bankruptcy? We got a businessman and a white mayor to actually come in and work with the business owners. It's the whole idea, buddy. Mr. Joe said Brandon Johnson is a Marxist puppet. David Yeti says, at this point, I believe people are simply addicted to degeneracy. I'm done, AD. Can't help those who refuse to help themselves. Facts. Kenneth Grigsby says, I don't like to hate anyone, but I truly hate the Chicago mayor. Mr. Spock says Brandon just advocated for troops to be attacked. GR's Infantry says democracy talk has to be propaganda. Crazy. Prime example of why democracy impedes on the rights of individuals. The mob rule mentality is dangerous. Rage King Leo says crime is down. By the way, YNs, oh yeah, just let me fix that. Were my switches at, okay, I'm sorry. Give me a second. Who runs all of those cities? They don't have an R in their name. AR Vendetta says Chirac YNs versus troops. Well, those YNs do have army guns. My girl, just a brown girl in America, says lady's face just pissed her off. Rage King Leo says turn them states red or purple. Also says Boondocks Warren was about this fake black boulets. Mr. Joe says Trump cares more about black people than black politicians. I believe that to be true. Mr. Mayor 3000 says the black politicians, drug dealers, and the pastors all in bed together and don't none of them actually produce a product. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for bearing with me today. I think that GoFundMe finessed me out of like $22.60 or something. $2,260. That's all right. We blessed. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We gonna see y'all tonight on After Hours. Peace, family.